CMDF, Combined Miniature Defense Force. Project Fantastic Voyage. Process miniaturization. Authority, top secret, highest clearance. Team, Jonathan Kidd, Commander. Guru, Master of Mysterious Powers. Erica Lane, Doctor, Biologist. Busby Birdwell, Scientist, Inventor, Builder of the Voyager. Mission.
All right. So I got my light box made for the engines. What I'm gonna do is I'll have probably a 3 Mego 5mm red flickering, and then I may throw in I have some blinking ambers. I'm gonna try it out just to, you know, give it a little life, so to speak. Here, just drawing out where the walls are going to go, because I got the upper hatch that's got to go in there, you know. So just kind of making sure when I locate it, it doesn't interfere with the walls. And moving on to the lower hull. Let me get a pointer here. I trenched this out because I've got, and let me pull this out. I got lights that are going to go up into here. So I don't know if you can see that. Essentially what I did was I took the Dremel with one of those end mill bits, you know, very small, like 1/8 inch, and went up in behind each one of the computer consoles. And what that'll allow me to do is, if I put different colors in, is I could paint black, you know, on the sides to kind of keep color contained. So like I said, this whole thing is trenched, and I'll throw in some stills so you can kind of see it. That'll allow me to channel the wire up under this one, which I did the same thing. Kind of hollowed it out so I can throw my lights in there, and then it'll go through that under the trench, and then come up through the bottom of this. And I had a boo-boo, so I'll take some Solariz and fill it, make it clear again, and then coming out, trenched this one so that the wires will continue through the back wall and then down into the base. So that was the fun part last night. Lots of resin dust. God, thank God for a respirator. All right.
So I've got the interior parts painted up, masked, and then painted. I added some decals from my stash, in addition to the Randy Cooper's, and then when these are dry, I will put the decals that he provided on. Here's the hatches. I got a clear coat on them so I can put the decal on the top. The black things are my engines, and that's shot them in smoke, so that when the lights are off, they take a dark tint to them. So alright, other than that, we're moving on. Alright, so I got my decals on. What I wound up doing was give it a light coat of white up underneath the decal so that they would show up. Same thing here, same thing there, and I have a mechanical pen that I just went around the edges, you know, kind of highlighted them. So I'm ready to stick lights in them and mount them to the cockpit. So I got the floor painted, some additional decals on there. No matter what episode you watch, there's always something new inside the cockpit. So there's no right or wrong. Besides, it's a cartoon. So just adding a little interest to the interior. All right, so I got the walls in. It's looking pretty good. I did the same thing with the computer wall. Put a little light coat of white on the back side, and then on the front side where the frame was, I took a permanent marker, thin tip, and just outlined the frame, because the frame was getting washed out when the lights hit it. So yeah, we're moving along pretty good. So I'll show you the bases next. Alright, so these are little side windows that go right there. I just spent the last 20 minutes or so polishing them out, and this one, there's an imperfection, but it's not on the surface, it's inside, it's deep in the damn resin, and I'm not going to cast another one, so it'll stay like that. So getting ready to put them in. I got the interior painted, or the top of the interior. I have some more decals. Get your seasick. I have some more decals there that'll go on the walls here because they're exposed. So these are the inserts that cover those windows, on the back side of the window, I should say. So yeah, we're moving along. While I'm at it, here's my light box for my engines. I've added two, these are the red filament. That's that filament LED. It's actually pretty neat. You know, cut it up in sections like you do the LED strip. So that right there represents 3 sections, and that just gives it a constant glow, because the flickering lights just weren't bright enough for the back of the engine. This is the light box behind the computer wall, and with the changing colors, it believe it or not, it doesn't show up green. So we'll go with it. And then I've got the decal applied to a piece of styrene, clear styrene, and I've frosted the back side so you can't see through it. So we'll go from there. That's how it's looking right now. So tomorrow I'll have the interior together with the lights, and then start putting the halves together. All right. All right. So I got the little port windows in right now. I had to use the solar res. Actually, I used that stuff, fill in behind it. You know, they didn't fit perfectly, so use that to fill in the gaps. And then when I mask it, it'll the window will be true. So I got this fitting in there, that fitting in there. I'm calling it quits for tonight. So we'll get that in there tomorrow. Actually, what I'll do is I'll polish up those windows one more time while they're in there, and then I'll put the covers over them, and then throw down some perfect plastic putty and blend them in. So I mean, it's come out good. So moving on. All right. So what I've done is a Bondo press on the tail section. So essentially what that means is I put some Vaseline, or in my case Aquapore, on the part that I didn't want the Evercoat to stick. Then lathered up get in the screen here. Then lathered up the bottom of the tail, and then when it was in that gummy phase, and popped it off, and then just trimmed off the excess. Now I'll go back in and you know, let this dry a little bit more, clean it, and then we should be good there. I'm about to clean up the windows and the hole there. I know it looks like a mess, but that's that plastic putty, you know, Q-tip with some water, get rid of the excess. On the other side of the bench, I started the bases. Actually, while we're here, I got these cleaned up. I had a couple more spots to back up here. Had a couple more spots to catch up, build up a little more. Like I said, this is the wing with the low fill, and then this one, the more I sanded, the more imperfections popped up underneath. So I don't know what was going on, but anyway, there's a little bit more there, and then I'll rescribe the moving surfaces. So. Alright, so I am in the assembly stage, and I'm just realigning the flickering bulbs that I got in there, just tidying up the wires. I have the inserts for the turbines up under there. I got the cockpit pretty much together. I'm just letting that last console dry, and then I'll put a cover over the wires. So everything will go through those two bulkheads, and then the base will come up through here. So kind of working on that. Back there I got, this is the Busby's area. So got the console ring, which will sit there. I got to paint it. I got the front masks on that, and then it's just final assembly. I got these, fixing to paint them black, and then insert the lights into that. I got the wings over in the paint booth right now with primer on them. I had to cut a groove on the inside where it mounts up to the fuselage, because of the wiring for the spotlight and the wing is going to come through back here, which I had to drag the wire from these into that area. So we're getting there. Should be later today. Have better shots. See ya. Bye. Alright, so this is the last of the cockpit interior lighting. So what I did was I put a couple of Christmas tree lights there, so it'll illuminate this little room here, and it should throw off enough light in the front cockpit along with the consoles and stuff, so it shouldn't be too dark. But yeah, let me do this without getting you too sick. So that's what it's looking like. Got some 1/8 inch tube. Gonna try to hide the wiring. I may have to go up to the next size, 7/32. So what I'll do is I'll put this part in a tube, just so there's no wires visible, because this is about, you know, you got this, oh, if I can get you there. This is about the way you're going to see it, so I just don't want to see, you know, that wire there. So anyway, and you can see my color changing lights on the computer wall back there. I know it's not winkies and blinkies, but hey, it'll do the trick. So anyway, last look before I close it up. Right now it's running on about 10 volts. I gotta look at my power source because it will run on 9, you know. Go from there. So, alright. Next step.
Alright. Larry back here with you. Alright, so this is the final before I close it up. And I kind of remember where the hell I left off last time, but anyway, I just kind of built a console to cover up the trench that goes all the way to the back there, and same thing back here. This you're not going to see, so I didn't bother putting some decals in here, but this one you'll probably see maybe from down through the bubble. So just added, you know, some little bit of detail, some levers, you know, some levers, nothing out of order. Because this thing sits on that, it sits at a funky angle. So what I done was I have a dual what do you want to call it, pin or post. So I got the one for the power, which follow along is this one here, right there, which is that one. Turn this, and I wound up putting I don't know what the hell, about a 1/16 inch copper pin in the back, and that's what this one is for. And after I glued this together and set it on there, it was pretty sturdy. I plan on gluing the ship to this, so the ship will be glued to that. I just wanted something to prevent the ship from kind of, you know, tilting forward or falling this way, because this is actually at an angle. So so that's that. So alright, what I'm doing is I'm just getting ready to solder the upper half to the lower half, and then I can close it up. These are my wings, which I will bring over here in a minute. These are the leading out for the lights on the wing tips. So bring one over here and show you. So I got the insert in there. I don't have the lens in there. I'll put that in after. So I just kind of trenched it back to that hole. So these will get soldered, and then the wires pushed back into the hole. So alright, that's where I'm at. Motion sickness starting to come together. Oh yeah, the other thing. So I got this blended in pretty good right now. I had a little bit of sanding. It was kind of like offset, you know. I don't know whether the mold was just cattywampus or whatever. Like I said, I did ask him to unretire this thing one more time. So there's a lot of divots in the mold pieces, but you know, it's a cool ship. I liked it, so thank him for bringing it out of retirement for a minute. So all right, that's where we're at for now. All right, so I got it all clamped together. I got every damn C-clamp attached to it that I got. That seam looks pretty good. Inner wall is lined up. Front window thing is lined up. So and that's going to conclude today's services. So I'm gonna leave it. I'll leave it glue. I speak English sometimes. I'm gonna let this sit overnight. I mean, and then come back and play with it tomorrow. Still got to attach the wings. So yep. All right, making progress. All right, so I made up a whole bunch of 5-minute epoxy, and you know, just glued around the perimeter of this thing, and you know, the seams look good. Windows lined up. You know, the inner wall is sitting where it should. Got no massive gaps, so everything is looking pretty good. Alright,
So that's it. I'm gonna let it sit overnight. You know, 5-minute epoxy takes 5 hours or more to really solidify. Alright. So I got this sanded down, knocked off about 4 pounds. So that's straight. I just got done scribing the flaperon, or whatever the hell you want to call it, in. I got one of these Tamiya engraver blades, scribing blades. It worked pretty good, so pretty happy with it right now. So, and then basically just went back and cleaned out this one as well. So, alright, next step is to glue this bad boy back on, or glue it on, I should say, not back on, but you see, then you can see how I'm, get you back in frame. You can see how I'm doing the wiring. So the wiring will lay down in that trench as it follows this. Lay down in that trench, and it'll go through into the hull. So I had to notch this out for, I don't know if you can see in there, but where I laid over the wires, I had to just notch out that stop there. So all right, continuing on. All right, so working on the Voyager. Got the one wing glued on, and I used there was a hell of a gap here, and he tells you in his instructions that you need to fill it, so it's understandable. But I cut a piece of styrene about I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch wide, and just ran it down the seam and filled it up with epoxy, letting that dry. Now the other wing, if you can see it, yeah, you can see my line. Okay, so if you look, yeah, there it is, you can see it. Got a nice little ski slope there. So this whole corner is about 1/8 of an inch thicker than the other wing. So I'm going to have to shave that down and you know, make it contour back to the wing. But it's got a nice little ski slope. It's a little overfilled, so that's what I'll spend my night on, making this wing same thickness as the other one. So alright, and that's kind of where I'm at. So it's working out pretty good. So I got the wings glued on, you know, got those issues straightened out. Right now I'm just filling in some gaps, about to mix up some Evercoat, and I just taped it off to confine my my bead that's going to go in there. Wound up just, it was a hefty gap in some places, so I cut some styrene, jammed it in there, and like super glued it. And you know, that took it up pretty much, but I need to clean it up with some Evercoat. So right now I'm just gonna work on the top. I get the top worked out, then we'll move on to the back. But I got it set up the way he had planned. You know, it was like 3/4 of an inch off the, get back in focus. It was 3/4 inch off the deck, so that came out pretty good. So happy with that. Like I said, just blending this in, and then have to work on, this one was a little rough, so I'm gonna have to work on that transition from the wing into the fuselage. So one problem at a time. So like I said, I'll get the gaps all filled in, and then just take it section by section. So alright, so I've been over here sanding up the joints and the wings, and then I just got done filling. Get my arm out and get a pointer. So I got the joints filled, came out pretty good, top and bottom. While I was sanding, this area right here had a really low spot where the cavity is for the the insert there. I mean, it was pretty significant. So I filled it with the Evercoat and put my thumb stamp of approval on it. The other issue I had was back here at this wing, and this wing was not identical to the other wing. In other words, this set back about maybe 1/8 of an inch. This is the wing I had a lot of problems with. had to sand the corner down and all that. So anyway, what I did was I filled it with the Evercoat, brought it up level with the back of the ship. It was kind of a trapezoidal, top lined up, bottom didn't. So I filled it with the Evercoat, and then while it was still gummy, I took a flat knife and shaved that off. So right now I'm just going to let this harden overnight, and then come back and sand it out, see how it looks. But overall it's starting to shape up, so kind of looking forward to it. Like I said, I gotta sand my damn thumbprint out of it, and then we'll go from there. But anyway, she's looking good so far. All right, making some progress here. This was the low spot. I filled it in with that Evercoat, and got it smoothed out, feathered in. I gotta put a little putty there. There. Got that. Feeling pretty good. This one wing was really messed up. So I got that feathered in. That was pretty low. And then this back here was really kind of cattywampus. It was angled in. This was the trapezoidal one, so I got a little bit more fill in there to do, just to make it an even edge, and that should feather out pretty good. Let me get up here. So I mean, it's straight. It doesn't somewhat straight. Like I said, I got to build up that edge right there. It's getting there. It's pretty damn close. So right now I'm just going to go clean it up, put a little more Evercoat on it, and then let that dry, and then probably come back tonight and sand it down. So alright, making progress on the Voyager. Be glad when this thing's done, get it off the bench, get back onto that poor spindrift. Alright, so I've got the low spot filled, blended in pretty good. Same thing over here, had a little bit of a divot just where up underneath the cavity here. The wing wasn't really straight, it kind of came in right here, so I just taped it off, filled it up with some Evercoat, and kind of shaped it a little bit, and then peeled the tape off, and then just leveled it. So what I'll have to do is just sand this down. And then I got another round of putty there. That's been a hard low spot to fill. Same thing back here. I think I got this. That'll be sanded out, so the edge will be crisp. As you can see, it's a little rough. Basically did the same thing, just taped it off, filled it, waited till it get a little pliable, pull the tape off, and then used the X-Acto and kind of shaped it. Then I'm just gonna let it cure overnight. It's kind of late right now, so it's getting there. So hopefully next couple of days throw some paint on it. So shit, got another one here. Yeah, see, it's just a low spot right there. Do the same thing, basically just tape it up, put a little putty in there, and shape it. So alright, that's it for tonight. See ya. So we're getting into the final stages of the body prep. I've got all the low spots filled, As you can see, you know, some here, some here. I got the wings straightened out. That was all cattywampused. Right now I just got some of the red filler in it, body putty. So wait for that to dry, give it a sand, and then I gotta rescribe the flapperons, whatever you want to call them, in the back in the wings. The bottom took a pretty good hit. Yeah, let me show you. So the bottom part of the wing was really kind of boofed up, so I got that straightened out. The side here really needs to be I need to rescribe it. I'll rescribe it there and at the end. So yeah, it looks like some bad case of poison ivy right now, but it'll be all right. Get it sanded down and primed. So all right, so that's it. All right, so a little bit of a freaking setback here. I was sanding the top, and this thing pushed out, and I couldn't fish it back in, so I had to do a little surgery on the bottom here. These, you know, this is part of like the landing skid or something like that, and so I just followed the contour here. What I'll do is when I put this stupid thing back in, freaking super glue that shit in with concrete so I don't fall out. No, I'm kidding. No, I'll super glue it in really good this time. I used super glue, and damn shit, I guess it didn't bond all the way around. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll get this thing back in place, make sure it's seated properly, then put in a couple of tabs on the bottom here so that the hatch piece doesn't fall through. It is cut at an angle. I had to use I used that little tool, you know, just went through and cut it. So basically it's trapezoidal, you know, the edges aren't straight down, they're curved in. So setback, that's all, you know, just a little bit more work, but I got this fixed, and then get moving on. You know, I'm almost done where I can primer this thing. Surfaces are smooth, come out really good. I'm happy with them. So anyway, all right. So I got that piece back in there, super glued the hell out of it, and then I just made up 5 gallons of epoxy and poured all over it just to hold it in. No, I'm kidding, you know. I did make up a bunch of epoxy and just sealed all around it and behind the gap there. So did a quick light test right now to make sure I didn't cut through one of those wires. I've already peeled the cockpit back, made sure everything was working up front there. My 2 headlights in the wings. So, all right, I guess we're good. Let me get the seal back up again. So minor surgery almost complete. Right now I just got this epoxied in. Just gonna let it dry, let it dry overnight, and then I'll sand. I'll pull the tape up, sand around it, and then, like I said, I'll cut 2 thin strips, and then just lay it over the, you know, the existing landing pad. It'll be a little more pronounced, and then hopefully move on. Get it going. I'll let primer this thing, get it off the bench, move on. I gotta get back on that thing. Poor spindrift. Got sidetracked. Alright, that's it for tonight. So, got the first coat of primer on, and this is the second iteration of this area up underneath the cockpit. It's very low spot, so it showed up when I shot the primer, so kind of puttied it in and sanded it down. So about to shoot it again, see how it goes. So all right. So I got the bottom painted, got 3 good coats on it right now. So it's just gonna let it dry overnight. and then might have to buff it out a little bit. I see a little bit of
one more time.
Battery died. Alright, so I got 3 good coats on it right now. I'm just going to let it dry overnight, and then flip it over, paint the bottom, or I should say the top, and then probably going to have to buff it out a little bit. I see, I don't know, look, I see some texture with this satin white, but we'll go from there. So anyway, it's white, that's for damn sure. I think with the landing gear I'm gonna tone it, just give it a off shade. So, but anyway, I'm liking it. Alright, so this is the 10-inch base that the base for the ship is gonna sit on. And if you've ever watched a cartoon, you know it looks like a damn carnival wheel. Different colors. So this is the base color of red. Then you know, I got a different color red. Then I got an orange and a green, and then I got another forest green in the cabinet that I got to pull out. So my masks will